Ja, herzlich willkommen zu einem neuen Interview SmallCap-Investor Talk Edelmetallmesse 2018. Und bei mir Resolute Mining, kennen Sie natürlich, ist eine extrem interessante Firma, produziert extrem super Zahlen eigentlich und der Aktie ist es meistens wurscht und der John ist Managing Director von diesem Unternehmen. John, thank you to your time. Yeah, Resolute Mining is a great company, and when I look at the share price, sometimes I'm a little bit frustrated.
It is a difficult market, and certainly we're aiming to be a great gold mining company. We're commissioning a new mine next month in December 2018, and I think the market is waiting to see that mine in operation. So we start the sub-level cave at our Syama gold mine in Mali in Africa. Next month we ramp it up over the next 6 or 7 months. And I think halfway during next year the market will have to reward the execution, the successful execution of that development program. So currently our share price is $1, and I'm looking forward to it being in a lot healthier position in June of next year when we've ramped up that mine. It's a big, very successful, long life, low cost mine. We're very confident in the technical work we've done over the last 3 years. To me, the actual commissioning and ramp up has been hugely de-risked, but I recognise that the market is rational and wants to see that success, and I think we'll be rewarded.
Coming to cost of production, we know, both of us, that we have not the gold price itself under control, but the only what you can have a control is on the cost.
Yes.
So what are the costs now for this particular mine and then for overall the company?
Yeah. So, currently we're producing gold at more than $1,000 per ounce. And our guidance for the whole of this financial year, which for us ends on 30th of June 2019, is to produce 300,000 ounces at an all-in sustaining cost of just less than $1,000 per ounce. And 200,000 ounces of that production comes from Mali, from Syama, and 100,000 roughly comes from Ravenswood. Next year, we will produce 400,000 ounces, which is 300,000 ounces from Syama and 100,000 ounces in Australia. So we have a big jump in production, and that will allow us to reduce our cost. Our long-term life of mine goal for our production is $750 an ounce, and we'll get there over the next 3 or 4 years. So this year's production is relatively high cost. And so our quarterly activities report in the September quarter, we produced 55,000 ounces at more than 1,350 Australian dollars an ounce. Next quarter will be better. The quarter after that will be better. We're slowly going to improve as we commission the Syama underground mine. And that's one of the things I think the market will reward. We're on a journey of transformation driven by technology and innovation, which will result in lower cost and better production, and that's our value proposition. So, yes, you're correct that investors look for exposure to gold price. Resolute's exposure, I think, is unique because we have 16.5 million ounces of resources, 6 million ounces of ore reserves, which represent huge value if and when the gold price rises. But more immediately, even if gold price doesn't rise, we're increasing our production and we're bringing down our cost, and we're doing that by using innovation to build long life mines. That's our value proposition for investors.
How I can bring innovation in this old industry?
There's a big barrier, and one of the barriers is the investors. They want tried and tested operations. And so there is a big barrier, I think, to genuine innovation in mining. We're building the world's first automated mine underground, which sounds a huge step change. In reality, all of the equipment that we're using, and we've partnered with Sandvik, who in my estimation are the best providers of automated underground equipment in the world. All of the equipment we're buying, the autonomous drill rigs, the autonomous loaders, the autonomous haul trucks, and the software that drives them is all currently being used in mines around the world. So we're very confident in its cost structures, its advantages. The difference with Syama, and I see it as an advantage, not a risk, is that we've been able to purpose design the mine. So most automation projects in most industries are retrofitted. You take an existing operation and you change the workforce around the equipment. We're not doing that. We don't have a mine, we don't have a workforce, and so we've been able to design the mine for automation. And that's a huge advantage because it allows us to put all of the machinery together under one operating model. It will be very efficient. It's a low cost mining method, sub-level caving. It has lots of repetitive activity. It lends itself to automation, and the Syama mine will be a mine that leads the industry.
Wow, that sounds really great. That was the operational side. Coming to your personal feeling about the market. Yes. What do you think about gold?
Look, as you said, the one thing I can't control in the business is the gold price. We seek to operate in any gold price environment and make sure that we're maximising value for shareholders. So we have a modest short-term hedging profile. We trade our gold in a way that we have significantly outperformed our peers in terms of the gold price we receive for the gold we sell. And so generally looking at the gold market in terms of gold price, at a most high level, I think that we've all become very accustomed to incredibly low interest rates globally. Certainly in Australia, where I live, and the growth rates of the economies and the employment rates doesn't match that low interest rate environment. Economic historians will point out, with validity in my view, that we've gone through the longest period of low interest rates ever in the history of organised finance. So at some point that cycle changes. We start to see higher interest rates leading to higher inflation, leading to a traditional bull market for gold. So it's a cycle, it always has been. Gold isn't being disrupted, in my view, in any genuine sense as its fundamental store of value concept and its support for currencies and trade. So at some point we see stronger gold prices. And that's why Resolute, how are we reacting to that assessment of the market, which I think is quite basic. We're looking to run long-life gold mines at a cost which produces a margin in any foreseeable gold price environment. So, having mines that have more than 10 years mine life means that we can make investments. To answer your question about technology, how do you invest in technology and innovation? Well, if you're mining a 2 or 3 year mine life, you're reactive. You can't invest in technology. So the way we handle that uncertainty around when gold prices rise, not if, is make sure we're investing in long life mines, make sure we have a sustainable margin even in a low gold price environment, and do that in a way that maximises leverage when and if gold prices rise. So we have 6 million ounces in the ground. We have automation and innovation in our mining that looks to lower our existing cost. And we're investing in exploration, and not both on our own drill rigs and also investing in other equity positions, so that we'll have the right inventory of future operations to build future gold mines. That's the way we look at the macro environment. We can accelerate our production and development. One of the other advantages of automation, if the gold price goes up, it's a lot easier to change your production profile. One of the problems for mining is, it's infrastructure, it's constrained. So when the gold price changes, miners actually have very limited opportunity to both lower and raise their production. One of the things that automation gives us is more flexibility. Okay. And when you look at industries, for example, an industry in Western Australia is the crayfishing industry. Crayfishermen now have a quota system which controls the industry. So when the US dollar, Australian dollar price changes, or the market price of crayfish rises because of a festival season in China, they do more fishing and they sell more crayfish. And if the opposite happens, they stop fishing, and it's entirely controllable. I think one of the things for gold miners to learn is to do the same thing. We deplete our ore bodies as quick as we can in any gold price environment. That's not very intelligent. No. We should mine less when the gold price is low and mine more when the gold price is higher. We should sell gold into strong gold prices, and we should hoard gold in low gold prices.
So that's mean, and this technology gives you more flexibility than the old traditional methods, what you use in the mine?
I think it starts with a strategy and a mindset around how you run your gold mines. So, most gold miners are trying to get the gold out of the ground as quickly as possible and not always focused on cost. Yes, I think automation is one factor, but the strategy around our exposure to gold in the ground is not because we intrinsically love mining. It's because of the value in it. I see gold in the ground as a vault. And the mine is just the mechanism of opening the vault and extracting the gold and having it available. Then you should make an active decision as to when and how you monetize that gold.
Yeah, for sure.
So what we represent and why people buy gold mining companies is exposure to gold. And so we stay true to that ideology. And I think one of the exciting things about coming to Germany and speaking to investors here is I think they understand that certainly better than Australian investors. I think here in Europe there is an understanding that gold and exposure to gold is a valid and in fact very compelling part of any investment portfolio. And they're the investors that I would like to talk to because I'm trying to build a company that rewards those investors.
Wow. John, thank you for the first introduction to your company. Ja, Resolute brauche ich nicht großartig vorstellen. Was spannend ist, Sie werden nächstes Monat Ihre Mine in Mali eröffnen. Das dauert dann noch 3 bis 6 Monate, bis dass die auf die volle Produktion kommen. Und das ist die erste vollautomatische Mine quasi, die es weltweit gibt. Er sagt, diese Mine ist auch insofern extrem wichtig, weil es die Preise für ihre Produktion sinken. Momentan produzieren sie rund um die $1.000 All-In-Cost. Das soll aber runtergehen über die nächsten Jahre auf $750. Sie werden die Produktion massiv erhöhen. Nächstes Jahr auf gut 300.000, das ist das Kalenderjahr, das endet mit Mitte nächsten Jahres und das darauffolgende auf gut 400.000. Und die Kosten kommen dramatisch nach unten. Und er sagt aber, was extrem spannend ist, diese Technologie gibt ja mehr Flexibilität in der Produktion. Wann sollen sie produzieren? Denn die Minenindustrie ist nicht wirklich intelligent, wenn sie, oder nicht wirklich intelligent dazu, wenn sie ihr Zeug abbauen. Denn wenn ihr mal eine Mine startet, dann produziert die halt einfach dahin. Und es ist aber eigentlich viel vernünftiger, so jetzt mit den Fischen verglichen, wenn jetzt der Goldpreis hoch ist, sollen sie mehr produzieren und wenn der Goldpreis niedrig ist, weniger produzieren, weil das dann den Wert, den sie über solche Mine haben, einfach erhöht. Also extrem spannende Sache. Wir sind wahrscheinlich jetzt auch zum richtigen Zeitpunkt, oder das Interview kommt zum richtigen Zeitpunkt, wo man möglicherweise jetzt noch auch billig reinkommen kann und wenn es keine Troubles gibt bei der Eröffnung und beim Ramp-Up von der neuen Mine, könnte das Resolute Mining in einer ganz anderen Atmosphäre bringen. Und wie er selber gesagt hat, den Goldpreis kann man nicht kontrollieren. Das Einzige, was sie kontrollieren können, sind die Kosten. Das war's von dem Unternehmen im November 2018 Edelmetallmesse München. Tschüss und Baba. Thank you.
Danke.